The inky black of a late Wednesday night in Toledo, Ohio, was about to be punctuated by more than just the hum of tires on asphalt. Lieutenant Colonel Adrienne Wallace, a woman whose life was a testament to discipline, service, and quiet command, was driving her government-issued black SUV, her mind already on home after a long base meeting 2 hours south. She wasn't speeding, wasn't swerving, wasn't doing anything to warrant attention. But Sergeant Daniel Mercer, 15 years on the force, bored and scrolling through his phone in his parked cruiser near Reynolds Road, saw things differently. An unfamiliar car, a slow night, that was enough. He flipped on his lights. Adrienne, calm and controlled as her extensive military training dictated, pulled over. The cruiser door slammed in her mirror. Mercer, tall, hand resting on his holster, flashlight in the other, bypassed the passenger side and went straight to her window. License and registration, he barked. No greeting, no pleasantry. Adrienne, hands visible, rolled the window halfway. "Officer, can I ask why I was stopped?" Mercer's flashlight beam stabbed into her face. "You were drifting between lanes. Didn't signal. Looked like you might have been drinking." Adrienne, who hadn't had a drink, raised a perfectly sculpted eyebrow. "I wasn't." "License and registration," he repeated louder, his voice already laced with an aggressive edge. She complied, slowly retrieving her documents, adding, "This is a government vehicle. I'm a federal employee." Mercer glanced at her ID. "Military, yes?" He smirked, a condescending curl to his lip. "Doesn't mean you're above the law." "I never said I was." His voice turned sharper, a drill sergeant's bark. "Step out of the vehicle." Adrienne blinked, the request jarringly out of proportion. "Excuse me." I said, "Step out of the car. I'm doing a sobriety test." Her jaw tightened, but her voice remained even, betraying none of the rising indignation. "On what grounds?" "I've cooperated. I haven't been drinking. I'd like to know the reason." Mercer moved closer, his bulk filling her window. "Now you're refusing a lawful order." Adrienne didn't flinch. "No, I'm asking for an explanation." This clear, calm assertion of her right to understand was not something Mercer appreciated. He yanked her door open himself. "Get out of the car. Now." That's when Adrienne, with the quiet precision that defined her career, turned on her phone camera and hit record. "Just so we're clear," she stated, her voice unwavering, "this conversation is being recorded." Mercer's eyes flicked to the phone. For the first time, a flicker of hesitation, quickly masked by bravado. "Out. Now." Adrienne stepped out, standing tall, not aggressive, but radiating an unmistakable, unyielding firmness. Her confidence, even in civilian clothes, was palpable. A small, nagging voice in Mercer's head might have whispered, "What am I dealing with here?" But his pride, the ingrained habit of never backing down, roared louder. He made her walk a straight line under the flickering streetlights, a demeaning charade. She passed perfectly. No slurred words, no stumbling, no hesitation. Still, he wrote her a ticket. "Failure to stay in your lane." Adrienne took the paper without a word, just a long, appraising look that Mercer would later, perhaps, recall with a dawning sense of unease. She got back in her car and drove away. Sergeant Mercer had no idea that ticket, that stop, that woman, would unravel his carefully constructed world of unquestioned authority. Back at the station, Mercer logged the ticket. Failure to maintain lane. Possible impairment. No arrest. And tossed his body cam into the charger, the footage unreviewed, the incident, in his mind, already relegated to the mundane. He even joked about it in the break room. "Some woman tried to pull rank on me," he boasted to Officer Diaz. "Flashed her government ID like it was supposed to scare me." Diaz, a younger officer, frowned. "Wait, she was military." Mercer shrugged, said her name was Wallace. Adrian Wallace. Diaz's face changed. Lieutenant Colonel Wallace? The Lieutenant Colonel Wallace? She spoke at the academy last year. She's not just military. She's high up. Runs logistics at Fort Wayne. Bronze Star. 2 deployments. She's the real deal, Sarge. Mercer waved it off. Don't care who she is. On the road, I'm the law. But something in Diaz's tone, that hint of genuine respect, planted a tiny seed of doubt, a seed Mercer chose to ignore. Adrian Wallace was not one for petty fights. 22 years in uniform, 2 tours overseas, commander of convoys in war zones, organizer of disaster relief across 4 continents. She didn't have time for drama. But this was different. This wasn't just about her. It was about every young soldier she'd mentored, every civilian mistreated, every woman, especially every black woman, forced into silence to avoid trouble. She wasn't staying quiet. The next morning, in her office at Fort Wayne, the ticket lay on her desk. Her aide, Sergeant Daniels, saw the video she'd recorded. "You want me to call the base lawyer, ma'am?" he asked, concern in his voice. "Already done," she replied. Daniels hesitated. "You sure you want to take this public?" Adrian leaned back, her gaze steady. "I'm not looking for drama, Sergeant. I'm looking for accountability." And she meant it. Her rank wasn't just a title. It was earned, a testament to a career built on discipline and integrity. To Mercer, she had been just another driver who didn't obey fast enough. That casual dismissal, that easy abuse of power, was what bothered her most. She made calls to military lawyers, to the Inspector General. She attached her video, filed a formal complaint, and let the cold, hard facts speak for themselves. By the end of the week, Sergeant Mercer's name was inextricably linked to an official investigation. Mercer still believed it would blow over, until the plain manila envelope arrived. Court summons. Plaintiff. Lieutenant Colonel Adrian Wallace. Charges. Unlawful detainment, intimidation, abuse of power. He laughed, a harsh, disbelieving sound. No way this holds. But back at the station, the air was different. His boss, Captain Reading, called him in. Door closed, blinds drawn. "We need to talk, Dan." Mercer, arms folded, feigned nonchalance. "About what? The woman from the other night? She's acting like the victim." Reading wasn't smiling. "She's not pretending, Dan. Do you even know who she is?" "I don't care who she is. She got stopped, acted rude." Reading leaned in, his voice low. "She's not just anyone. She's a high-ranking officer, a war veteran. Her record is spotless. She has powerful friends. And she has the whole thing recorded, from her view and yours." Mercer shrugged. "So what? We just apologize because she has rank." "No, but we can't act like this is nothing. You're going to court, and if this gets out, which it will, it'll explode." Mercer, for once, had no quick comeback. The court date was 3 weeks later. Rumors had spread. Quiet talks in the locker room. Strange looks in the halls. No one said anything to his face, but Mercer felt the shift. He wasn't the tough guy anymore. He was the one in trouble. Adrian prepared differently. No public outcry. No pleas for sympathy. She met with her lawyer, Delaney Price. They reviewed the footage again and again. Adrian meticulously documented every detail. Price, impressed by her composure, asked, "Are you sure you want to take this to court? It's public. It'll stay with you." Adrian nodded. "Good. Let it." Price paused. Most people would have dropped it. "I've ignored too much already," Adrian stated. "This isn't just about me." She wasn't after money. She wanted official acknowledgement, proof that power didn't grant impunity. On the court date, Adrian walked in wearing her full military dress uniform, badges gleaming, medals arrayed, her rank clear for all to see. She wanted the jury to see not just a woman. No. Did you resist? No. Did you tell him who you were? Yes. I said I worked for the government and was driving an official vehicle. The courtroom was utterly silent. Then, the videos played. First, Adrienne's phone recording, clear, steady, damning in its depiction of Mercer's escalating aggression. Then, Mercer's own body camera footage, revealing his harsh tone, his threatening stance, his hand hovering near his gun despite Adrienne's complete cooperation. The jury didn't need to deliberate. You could feel their opinion shifting with every frame. Mercer's lawyer, Charles Breener, tried a gentle cross-examination. Lieutenant Colonel Wallace, isn't it possible Officer Mercer was just doing his job? Adrienne didn't hesitate. No. Couldn't he have been worried about safety? I was driving fine. I was sober. I wasn't threatening anyone. There was no danger. And yet, you recorded the stop. Why? Because experience has taught me that staying quiet doesn't always keep you safe. I wanted proof of what happened. Breener nodded slowly. So, you don't think officers should use their own judgment during stops? Adrienne looked directly at him, her gaze unwavering. I think judgment must come with self-control. That badge isn't a license to do whatever you want. It's a duty. Even the judge paused at that. Mercer didn't testify. He just watched, his face unreadable. As the videos played again, every harsh word, every contemptuous glare laid bare. The prosecutor pressed him during earlier depositions, excerpts of which were read. Sergeant Mercer, why did you order her out of the car? She seemed suspicious. Did she disobey you? She questioned me. Is that against the law? A long pause. No. Did she yell, threaten you? No. Then why escalate? No answer. Sergeant Mercer, did you know she was a lieutenant colonel? Not then. And if you had? Mercer's voice, when it finally came, was almost a whisper. I might have handled it differently. There it was, the admission, not an apology, but the truth, raw and undeniable. That night, Mercer hadn't seen a person, a citizen, a decorated officer. He'd seen someone who didn't obey fast enough. 3 days later, the verdict. The courthouse was quieter. Judge Cynthia Morales looked over the room. In the case of Wallace versus Mercer, the jury finds in favor of the plaintiff. Mercer shifted. Adrienne remained still. The court rules that Sergeant Mercer violated constitutional rights during an unlawful stop. His actions did not follow department rules or basic professional standards. No cheers, just the heavy silence of justice served. No criminal charges will be filed at this time, the judge continued, but the plaintiff is awarded $35,000 in compensation. This ruling will remain in the public record and will be sent to the Department of Justice and the Toledo Police Department for review and potential policy changes. Adrienne gave a single, almost imperceptible nod, not to the judge, not to the jury, but to herself. Outside, Mercer, head down, faced a small scrum of local news reporters, cameras flashing. He stayed silent. Adrienne paused in the hallway. Her lawyer caught up. You could have demanded more money, Colonel. Adrienne shook her head. It was never about the cash. Do you think this will make a difference? Delaney asked. Adrienne looked out at the Toledo streets. I'm not sure, but maybe next time he stops someone, he'll hesitate. A week later, Mercer was suspended pending departmental review. His career, once a source of pride, now hung by a thread. At Fort Wayne, Adrienne returned to her duties, a quiet commander leading by example. The lesson for her team was clear. Respect is earned, not demanded. Composure often speaks louder than anger. 2 months later, Adrienne stood before a room of new recruits at Fort Wayne. She spoke not of battle plans, but of leadership, of the responsibility that comes with a uniform. How many of you believe a uniform automatically makes people respect you? A few hands rose. She nodded. I understand why you'd think that, but respect isn't given. It's earned. The same goes for power. The badge, the rank, the authority. It's not armor. It's a burden. If you can't handle it with honor, you don't deserve it. She paused, her gaze sweeping the room. When an officer stopped me and forgot his duty, I could have screamed. I could have frozen. I could have ignored it. She met their eyes. I didn't. I recorded it. I reported it. I went to court and told the truth. That officer thought his badge made him invincible until he saw my rank, not just on my uniform, but in how I stood my ground. That's the difference. That's real leadership. Her message was clear. Power without responsibility is merely a disguise for fear. Speak up. Hold firm. Courage defends everyone.